so excited to have you all here. Y'all, YouTube is working tonight. Amen. Y'all, welcome to Planning Together, where every week I invite a friend on to share with us how they are organizing their life and their heart, y'all. So if you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and do it. But y'all, I am so excited. I'm so excited. Okay, anyway. I have the beautiful Inside and Out Laken joining me today. Laken is a Texas planner girl living in New York City, y'all, with her fiance and fluffy cat, Charlie. By day, she is an associate of the Society of Actuaries at a large life insurance company. Outside of work, she is focused on personal goal setting and sharing her journey with others. Laken helps people work towards achieving their goals each week through her YouTube channel, Plan with Laken. And y'all, she also has a Patreon community, Goals with Laken, as well, that helps other people as well. Y'all, help me welcome Laken. And also, we have a special guest here tonight to Planning Together.
She literally hopped up on my lap right when you said her name. She was like, "Me? Are you talking to me?" So she wanted to cameo tonight.
Hi, Charlie. Welcome to Planning Together, Charlie. How?
She's ready. She's ready. I'm ready. I'm so excited. Thanks for having me.
Yes. How is everyone doing tonight, Laken? How are you doing today? How's your day going?
Good. I was with Tammy. I was dancing to the music.
Yeah, it's
I love the theme song.
Yes. Hey, Kat. Kat said, "Hello, ladies. I literally just ran home after that class. Only for
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job.
I know. First off, you worked out. Did you go to Orange Theory, Kat? Because I know where you go to work out.
I know what you do.
I know what you do.
That's the planner community in general, because we all just like read each other's planners and we know what we're doing with our lives. We're like, I know where you go. I know what you do.
Or when someone says, "Oh, I don't have time for that," I'm like, "Well, you wrote that in your plan. Listen, you didn't have anything down there on your planner."
I saw some white space.
Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness, Laken, thank you for joining me. I just want us to get started. I want to know, how did you get started in this planner community?
Go.
And I felt like there was something else.
I was like, is there more to that question? I can go with that.
We'll go with that. We'll start with that.
So it started right after I graduated college. I've always been like a planner girl. I mean, I love me a planner. And the day that we got the planners in school was like the best day of school always. And in college, I used a Lilly Pulitzer planner. I was in a sorority, and that was just, I had to use a Lilly Pulitzer planner. But then when I graduated college, I was like, I need a new planner. And so I went to Office Max to look, and of course the options are just like terrible. It's like ugly, black, terrible paper. Like, this isn't going to work for me.
Plastic covers, no shame.
There are a lot more options than, this was 7 years ago. Okay. So like there were almost 8 years ago. There are a lot more options in like Office Max and Staples now, but of course, Charlie decides she wants to play with a toy, right?
So, Charlie, live your best life. Live your best life, girl.
Yeah. Anyways, so I was on Facebook, and a friend of mine that I danced with growing up, I guess I didn't have planner friends at this point. That's the point of the story. But a friend of mine from dance growing up posted her Erin Condren referral link on Facebook. Just like, "Hey, I just bought this planner. If you want $10 off, like here is a link to get $10 off." And the like photo that popped up on the Facebook with the Facebook link had a quote on it. Like it was a cover with a quote. And I am a sucker for motivational quotes. And I was like, I don't care what the inside of that planner looks like. It's got a quote on the outside. It's got my name written all over it. So I ordered one. And for whatever reason, I didn't blink an eye at the price. I was just like, yeah, like I need that. And then I got it, and it was massive and had so much space. And I was like, what am I supposed to do with all of this space? Like there's just too much white space. I work a 9-to-5 job, and like, that's it. So like, I don't know what you want me to do with this space. And so then I joined a Facebook group to teach me how to use my planner, right? I probably Googled like, I don't know, how to use my Erin Condren planner. And then We Love EC popped up, the Facebook group. And then it was spiraled out of control from there.
Oh my gosh. I love it. Okay. So in between your High School Agenda and Lily Pulitzer, were there any other planners that you used growing up, or was like Lily Pulitzer when you got to like college?
So I did use an at a glance, like hourly planner in the summers, because here's a fun fact about me that I've said in a few places, but it's buried deep into videos. I used to sell Cutco knives. Fun fact. Yeah, if you've never heard of Cutco knives, it is like a direct marketing business, and they're the best. They're literally the best knives. I'm not actually a very good salesperson. I can just sell things that I like and are I think are high quality. So I used one of those at a glance hourlies so that I could track all my appointments for Cutco, but it was literally just like during the summers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So y'all, I want to, before we get started, I have a little game that I want to play with Laken. It's like you have to pick one or the other. You can't do both. You can't say or. You have to, yep. It's either this or that. And y'all go ahead and put I want to know what y'all have to say in the comments as well. Are you ready for this? Okay. It's only 10 questions.
Okay.
Coil or bound?
Coil.
Rings or discs?
Rings.
Vertical or hourly?
Vertical.
Daily or weekly?
Daily.
Microperm or Sharpie?
Microperm.
Washi or stickers?
Stickers.
Planner cart or planner caddy?
Planner caddy.
Fun or functional?
Functional. Sunday
start or Monday start?
Monday start.
Academic year or calendar year?
Calendar year.
Okay.
That was pretty. The rings discs.
I was waiting to say like neither.
Zero of those things. I just need a coil all day long. Only a coil.
Coil all day long. I feel that. Okay.
Did you just ask blue or black ink because you just like that's just?
I already knew, and I didn't want to hear the answer. I don't want to hear no black ink. I mean, come on. I mean, I will. Okay, this is what
everything. It matches everything.
Okay, that's what I'm learning, that when I use sticker kits, it's just easier if I use a black pen. It's just easier.
Remember that? I just want to make sure you all caught that.
It is easier. I mean,
yeah. And what Andrea said, not just a coil, a silver coil. Yes.
I love that. A silver coil.
I don't do any. I don't really like any other metals.
Okay. Oh my cats. Y'all are saying this is going too fast. I love seeing what y'all come up with. Come to the dark side. Yeah. You see this face?
Yes. Black pen.
I'm just saying. Okay. So Laken, I want to know, what planners are you currently using? What does your planner system look like right now?
So right now I am using a Plum Paper Daily A5 coil. That is my like lifeline right now. I would fall apart without it. That and my Google Cal. I have dipped my toe into digital this year and I have not looked back. It is so helpful. It's so helpful. I adore it. My power sheets, my Cultivate What Matters power sheets, always, all the time. And then the content planner, like the content planner. Those are the only 3 planners that I brought with me to my mom's in Chicago. Yes. I am from a weekly right now, and that's it. It's kind of a small lineup.
Yeah, okay, so it sounds like you're like, okay, this is what I'm using. This is what's working for me. I know you had somewhere where you realized like, oh, I don't need a weekly so much anymore because I've been using my daily. How would you like maybe help someone figure out like, oh, do I need both or do I need to just stick to one or the other? How did you kind of like figure out that process for yourself?
Yeah, I think it's because I'm also using Google Cal. Right? If I didn't have, so I'm still mapping out my at the beginning of the week. I just am doing it digitally, and that I don't feel the need to transfer that to a weekly planner. It feels feels like a waste of time, a waste of stickers, all the things. So I don't feel like that, just felt like an unnecessary step. But then the weekly wasn't enough for me every single day. I like my daily, 1, for the space. I like to have the extra space. 2, I love turning the page on a brand new day. I struggled a lot with if I like missed a thing in my weekly or I missed a day, that I wouldn't want to go back and look at it because it just it was blank, or I crossed something off, or it didn't work. But with the daily, if I miss a day or something gets messed up, I can just turn the page and it's a fresh start. And then when things get scheduled the day before, like this, tomorrow tonight wasn't planned yet in my planner. Like, yes, I had something in my Google Cal that I easily moved to the weekend, but I didn't set up my Thursday and my daily yet. And so I could still like write this in my planner. So that's why.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. That's what TK plans. This is what, yes. New page each day. I think that's the thing that has been intriguing and like tickling my ears a little bit about the daily is this, like, it's this idea of like a fresh new start each day. However, I feel like I don't have enough to write out, and everything's not timed for me where I need a list. I just need to write out everything.
Yeah. So first off, I don't need a time either. And that's why it took me until getting the plum paper daily for me to have a daily planner that worked for me, because it felt like every other daily in the universe was timed. And I was like, I don't need the times. I don't want the time, because sometimes I have things scheduled at specific times, but sometimes, I mean, most of the time I don't. And 9 to 5, I'm at work. So I didn't want time. So the plum paper daily does not have times. And then some days are super blank. Like there's like 3 things on there on my list, and that's it. Because like last Saturday, 2 Saturdays ago, almost, that we drove from New York to Chicago, it had like 2 things I wanted to make sure we did in the morning before we left, and 1 thing I wanted to do when we got there at night, and that's it. And then it was just drive. Like it was a pretty blank, and that's okay. Some days are just like that.
Some days are just like that. Okay. Listen, hi, Alyssa. I'm so glad you're here. We're glad you're here too. Okay, so people hate this question, but I'm going to ask you it anyway. Top 5 planner must-have. It only can be 5. And I'm going to say a planner doesn't have to be included.
Okay. So a black pen.
Okay.
That's a planner must-have, right?
She couldn't say pen, y'all. She had to emphasize a black pen.
Black pen. Oh, yeah. Obviously. Obviously. It can't just be any pen. I can't have any colored pen. I need some sort of bookmark to mark where I'm at, because I'm always a girl, and I need to be able to mark where I'm at. I'd like to have like multiple bookmarks, but I'm not going to waste 5. I'm just going to one bookmark. One bookmark. I mean, I feel like generic stickers. Like it's just like all the stickers. Do I have to pick specific kind of stickers?
Oh, we're going to get to that later.
Oh, no pressure.
No pressure at all.
No pressure. So stickers.
Okay.
I feel like I could live with like just that. Like,
listen, you got it down to 3. Y'all, did y'all hear? Laken got it down to 3. 3.
I don't know. I'm not in my planner is not where I get like crafty.
Oh, that makes a difference.
Yeah. I'm not getting like, I do that in other places with other things.
Yeah. Okay. Someone had asked you a question real quick. Heather had said, do you put work to-dos in your daily planner or your personal only?
So that reminds me, I guess I forgot a planner in my planner lineup. I do have a work planner that I use, but I forget about it because it doesn't feel like a planner, because it's literally like a work to-do list. So no, my daily plum paper is personal only. So I kind of break it up. I usually have like a morning section, so what I want to get done before work. I have a day section, which is just what is the one thing I'm doing during my lunchtime that day, and then evening, what am I getting done after work, and then only personal to-dos.
Oh, I like that. I blame EC for that. That morning, day, afternoon.
Yeah,
it's always been with me. Target. Got it from Target. Everything comes from me from Target. Yes. Okay, Laken, I gotta know, what have you been learning about yourself?
Well, what have I been learning about myself? Maybe I should have asked to have the questions in advance, because now I'm like, oh, so much pressure.
No pressure at all.
I feel like I have been, and this is like a sneak peek of an Instagram caption I've written for like a next week, is that there's things that I used to say are like, I would never do this, or I would never say that, or I can never do that. I could never do this. And like, I can do those things. Like I can do those hard things. And one of the things that I like to remind myself and remind others of is I don't think that there's any goal that is unattainable. I think that there are just unattainable timelines. I think any goal that you want to achieve.
Say it again. I was like, say that one. Say it again. Yeah.
There is no such thing as an unattainable goal, just an unattainable timeline. So any goal that you have, it's possible if you take the right amount of time to work on it and you do the work and you put in the steps and the progress, like it'll happen. You just have to give it some time. And I think that's one thing I've been learning a lot lately. And I think this year has just, I feel like I've always been so go. And because I've had to like not go this year a lot, it's kind of made me realize that like, well, if I actually do the work and put in the time, like I can do things.
Mm-hmm. I love that so much. Yeah. Laken in here dropping some wisdom. Listen, I love that. Now I'm just thinking about that. I'm like, that's really good.
Well, because then the problem is when we don't achieve it on the timeline we originally set, we give up and we're like, well, I guess I wasn't meant to achieve that, or I guess I can't achieve that. When in reality, like you can, you need to give yourself more time. Take a little bit longer.
More time. I love that. Okay, so I mean, let's go into the goals.
Yeah.
Real quick. Y'all,
you were gonna wait for the second half, and here we are.
Listen, y'all, if I don't keep your questions, hold them. If I haven't answered them, please hold them. Or just hold on to them because I don't want to miss them. So when I say questions, pull these questions up again because I'm gonna lose them in the comments. Okay. But so speaking of goals, how can someone know when a goal needs to be on a timeline and when it doesn't need to be on a timeline?
Ooh, that's a good question. Truthfully, I don't think they ever need to be on a timeline. I think certain people need goals to be on a timeline because it gives them something to work towards. But truthfully, unless it is something that has to be done by a certain date, like I have to have a wedding planned by the date of the wedding. If it's something like that, then fine, there's a timeline. But I think that putting timelines on things make it harder rather than make it easier. Right? You think that putting a timeline on it is going to make me have to work harder because, well, there's a timeline that I have to get that done by. Like, say I want to lose 20 pounds and I'm going to do it by whatever date. And you think that that's going to motivate you more. When in reality, at least for me, this is how it works for me, the timeline's too much. And then what happens is I'm like, well, I'm not going to do it. So then I'm not even going to try because I'm not going to do it by that date. So I might as well just give up because I'm not even going to get close. Whereas if I'm just like, no, I am going to do these actions and eventually I will hit that goal. I think that can be more beneficial, like that mindset of just keep doing the work and eventually you'll hit it rather than like, I have to do it by this certain date.
That's good. Was there something that made you fall in love with the process of setting goals versus actually like the results of the goals?
The power sheets, I think like having a place where I can track that progress and I can see all those check marks and I can see that I'm making progress. Even if I don't feel it or see it in my everyday life, I can see it on that piece of paper that I checked things off and I shaded things in. And so I think having a place for me to track that has made me more excited about the process and the mini action steps as opposed to just like, I have to achieve the goals and then celebrate the big things.
Yes, I love that. I love that. And was there something that made you fall? Now, like these questions are now I'm playing Laken, so here we go. So, was there something that made you fall in love, like before? Like, have you always been a goal setter, or was this like a passion that you discovered along the way?
No, I've always been a goal setter. I'm a type 3 on the Enneagram. I have always been like, I need this and I need that. And I have like silly examples from when I was a little kid about like, I have this goal to do this. And then I would, work towards that goal. I mean, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have a process then. I didn't have power sheets. Like I didn't know what I was doing. No, but I've always been a goal setter, but it is in the past couple of years that I've become more interested in the tips and little things that can be applied to any goal, right? Like I can go all day long and get experts on a specific goal, right? I have a specific goal. I always go back to the weight loss example because that's just like the one to pull as an example. You have a specific goal to lose weight. You can get the experts. I can get a personal trainer. I can get a nutritionist. I can get all of that. But at the end of the day, like we're not made of money, and we can't call in the experts for every goal that we have because it's just not going to work. So we've got to work on systems for ourselves and tools that we can have that can apply to any goal. And so that's what I've become more interested in the past couple of years, is figuring out what are those things that I can do and learn that I can apply to any goal that I have. And then let me teach all the people all the things.
Yes, I love that. And because you said that, this is like a collaborative thing, y'all. So I want y'all in the comments to let us know, how have you been falling in love with the process of setting goals? And if you're new to goal setting, maybe you can see some of the systems, the community groups, the Patreon groups that people are really loving and engaging in that are helping them with their goals. So y'all, seriously, I want to see these comments flood with all your favorites. With that being said, Laken, first off, you're such a wealth of knowledge when it comes to setting goals, and I love that. Has there been a particular resource, book, or tool that has really just opened your eyes specifically when it comes to goal setting, and you're like, if there's one thing that I recommend someone getting started in goal setting, go look at or read or listen to, what would it be?
Oh, that's tough, because I feel like the most, again, beneficial like resources in terms of books or podcasts or YouTube channels is whatever's related to your specific goals. Like go find somebody who is doing what you're doing or doing what you want to do and learn from them, as opposed to like just following all the people or just following the inspirational, motivational. I mean, there are great people for that, but it's like when people come to me and ask about like having a YouTube channel. I'm like, I get it. I have one. So you want to ask me questions about having a YouTube channel. But in reality, there are people who focus on that. Go to the expert. I think that if I could say get started, writing it down makes a huge difference. Like writing your goals down. And so even if it's not the Power Sheets, even if it's not the Moxie Life, even if it's just a piece of notepad paper, writing your goals down can make a world of difference. So if you are just getting started, like I would just recommend you grab a piece of paper and you write down all the goals that you have. And don't be afraid, again, don't be afraid to dream and think of some of these things that I've always felt like, well, I'm never going to do that. Especially now we have this like 2020 blinders on. That's like, well, I don't know when. I just saw this in the Power Sheets Facebook group. Like, well, traveling internationally was a goal of mine, but I guess that's out the window. Like, okay, maybe it is right now, or maybe it's not. Like right now you can't drive across the border and go to Canada, but like maybe in a few months, like you can, and there you go. You traveled internationally. Like think about it. And don't limit yourself, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So like write down your goals and wherever you want to write them down.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was a lot.
No, that was perfect. And I'm so glad you said that, because I remember like that's what introduced me to goal setting. Before I got into like the planner world, it was me writing my goals on index cards and sticking them on this wardrobe that I got in my dorm room, because I had seen my dad write his goals down on a little Post-it and stick it inside of his dresser. And so it was just like that simple act of writing out what you're wanting and then putting it somewhere where you're seeing it each day. Like there's so much power in that.
Yeah, there's two big reasons why that's beneficial for you. One of the big reasons people don't achieve their goals is they forget that they're working on it, right? They forget that this is a goal that they had. And so if you forget about it, you're not going to work towards it. And then the second one is when you write things down, it goes into your subconscious. There's a lot of science behind that, where when you write things down, you remember it. And then you subconsciously make those little decisions in the moment without having to think about them, right? So if you write down your goals all the time, your like inner brain is going to start making the right decisions to help you with those goals.
I love that so much. Oh, come on, Laken, just preach. Okay. Kat said goals don't have expiration dates.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Love that. Brianne said, I love goal setting and lately have been learning to enjoy setting goals for happy things, not just hard things. Joy deserves to be a goal. Listen, someone put that on a sticker or post it. My joy deserves to be a goal. That's good. That's real good.
Yeah, your goals don't have to be hard, like things that you don't want to do. I think that is also a big misconception, is that we think that our goals have to be cleaning our house and going to the gym. And like, those are great goals, but so is reading a book just for fun. So is taking a bubble bath. Like, so those goals are good too. And those are fun goals.
Yes. Crafty Ruby Dream says, I've been learning about the Clifton strength and how those and other aspects of my personality, like being an ENFP, affect how I respond to goals and goal setting. I love that. I like that. Like finding more out about yourself and then figuring out how I'm wired and how to best set goals. That's really interesting. I like that framework.
Goal setting, that's mindset too. And so the better you know yourself, the more likely you are to probably achieve your goals.
So, I mean, this might sound like an obvious, because I know you're a type 3, but what have you learned in your type 3-ness and how that affects you setting goals personally?
Yeah. So what I learned mostly is that what's holding me back, I used to think that what was holding me back was perfectionism. But that would put me in the type 1, but I'm not a type 1. I'm definitely a type 3. What holds me back from things is fear of failure, not perfectionism. And so that has helped me let go of perfectionism. And really, if I am scared to do something, think like, okay, but what I'm afraid of failing. So what does failing look like? And like, is it really that big of a deal? Because like 9 times out of 10, it's not like failing means I'm like dying. Like it's not, you know what I mean? Like it's not really the end of the world if I fail. I might be sad, but the world is not going to fall apart. It's going to keep turning. Things I'm still going to have, it's going to be fine. So I think that is what made me, I used to think it was a perfectionism problem, but really it's just a fear of failure.
That's so cool. Okay. So I'm a 7. And so the biggest thing that I found when setting goals is that I have this fear of missing out, and that I'm setting like the wrong goal. Like my goal should be focused on this thing. And that, so I get really caught between this analysis paralysis and playing this game of, am I setting the right one? Is like, oh, what I should be switching my attention to this. And it ends up being scattered versus actually being focused and saying, let's try this one thing, see how it goes. And then move on to the next one. Like, okay, did that work? Did that not work? And so but I didn't know that if I didn't know that was like, I know I struggle with FOMO, like, you know, and so that's really interesting.
Yeah. Sam is a 7. My fiance is a 7.
All right. Me and Sam got so much in common.
Yeah. You and Sam are like this.
Oh, okay. What are y'all saying? Okay. Sometimes I feel like I'm missing out of these comments because y'all be having whole conversations there. Kat says, I write my goals down every single day just so I can remind myself of them, just because of what Laken said. I tend to forget. And someone else said something, but I'll come back to it. All right, Laken, what do you think is the biggest myth about setting goals?
The biggest myth. Ooh. That's a great question. I think I have 2 answers in my head that I'm like, oh, which one am I going to go with?
Tell us both.
Well, I think one I kind of already touched on, which I think is that like no goal is unattainable. I think a lot of people think like, well, I can never do that. And I can't even set that goal because it's unrealistic for me. And I think that is not true. I think you can achieve any goal that you set your mind to as long as you give it enough time to work on it. I think that's for sure one. The other one that I think, which is slightly controversial because I know everybody talks about this, I don't think every goal has to be a SMART goal.
Oh, is that whole small, measurable?
Yeah, specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. And I just don't think that every goal has to have all of those categories.
Just thinking through that stresses me out.
Yeah. That's just, I think that was something that we were taught. And I think that it can be beneficial for certain types of goals. But I think that if you try too hard to make all of your goals fit into that acronym, you're going to drive yourself crazy and you're never going to achieve anything.
Yeah. You just said something. You said that's what we were were you taught goal setting like in high school or college or leadership lane?
At some point, somebody taught me SMART goals. I don't remember when or where or why, but yeah, at some point.
Yeah. Were y'all taught goals? Like
Yeah.
when I think about it, I don't really think I was taught goals. Do you feel like goal setting is something that we should be teaching students?
Yeah, there's a lot of things that we should be teaching that we don't teach, like how to balance a checkbook and like how to do our taxes and like
how to be a decent human being, a
nice person. There's a lot of things we don't learn that we should learn in school. But yes, I think that goal setting is something we definitely should learn because I think we have our goals set for us when we're younger. Right. Our parents and between parents and school, like our goals are set for us. And then they push us off to college and we have to like do it all on our own and we don't know how to do it. And then depending on what your type is, you burn out in some capacity. So,
okay. A lot of people are saying that they did learn SMART goals in like college or in work. Okay.
Maybe that's where I learned it at work.
That's so interesting. Hey, Jeanette. Hey. I'm very curious to know. It's a twofold question. One, when do you usually start setting goals for the upcoming year? And two, how do you stay present in 2020 without getting caught up on 2021?
Yeah, that second one is a tough one. Okay, so to answer the first question, I've already started brainstorming for 2021. I actually think it helps you, or helps me anyway, to start brainstorming because then I can, instead of trying to do it now, I'm like, no, it's on the list. You're not going to forget about it. You're going to get to it next year. Keep focused on the goals that you have set now. Like, don't give up on those quite yet. So I'll start brainstorming now, and then I will start really diving deep in December. Like that's when I will start doing my Power Sheets prep work and like actually set the goals. And so truthfully in December, I do have less goals. Like I know that I have less goals and it's not because I'm starting on my 2021 goals. December's just crazy. It's just between the holidays and Vlogmas because I'm an insane person.
You go, girl. You go.
I did not mean to say that. That's a phrase that I'm trying not to use. There's like other words that are better. I don't mean to say that.
You work really hard.
Yes, I am
a hard worker.
Maybe overly ambitious is maybe what I should say. So my December goals are usually much lighter than every other month. But what I try to do is at least pick one thing that is going to be my December thing. What is the one thing that I'm going to make sure that I don't lose focus on to finishing the year out strong? And I pick that one thing that's going to be my focus and I finish out the year strong and really think of it as a good foundation for the next year. What's a habit I can build in December that's going to help me start my goals off strong in January?
That's good. Y'all, I could talk to Laken all day about goals, y'all. Newspaper says, how do you enjoy the process? I think I'm all about the end point and not the journey.
It's a great question. So I would tell you and others to, first off, intertwine some of that fun stuff. Like have the process be things that you're excited about. Like pick action items that get you fired up. Pick goals that you're excited to work on, and then you won't be as focused on the end. Now, I know that's not as some goals are not possible like that. You're trying to save a certain amount of money, you're trying to lose a certain amount of weight. I mean, hey, you can make that fun too. You can do fun things to get there. And then I think you celebrate the little wins, because I think sometimes we're so focused on that end point, even if we didn't give it a timeline, we're so focused on it that we can't celebrate till we get to that end point. But if we focus on celebrating the little things along the way, then it gives you that excitement to enjoy the process and then keep going from there. I think they're in the content planner that I have, it has like every week you write a win, like a win for the week. And it doesn't have to be huge, but you write a win and then it gets you excited to keep going.
Okay, so now I want to know, how does Laken celebrate? How do you celebrate your small wins? Like, what does it look like to celebrate a small win? And then accomplishing like maybe a, you know, big term, long-term goal? How do you celebrate?
So I love myself a good cocktail. So I have been known to celebrate with a delicious cocktail.
What's your favorite cocktail?
My favorite cocktail is probably an old fashioned.
Oh,
I got that. I am the apple that did not fall far from either tree. Both my old fashions and red wine were all very similar.
What's your favorite white wine?
A cab, like a California cab, bold, strong.
Nice and strong and robust.
All of it. Yeah, that's my favorite. It's my favorite wine ever. That just got way off topic. So that's I will typically celebrate like with that. I will celebrate like smaller milestones, but still big enough with some sort of like physical object. I love me some actual things. So like I just made a deal with myself that if I went back to the gym, I could get new shoes. And I went back to the gym and I got myself some new shoes and they are fantastic. So I do love me some of those. And then this is my threeness. I love to tell all the people about, that's how I celebrate. I like to tell everybody about my wins. I'm like, I did this thing. Look at me. I did it. So that's the three in me. I just need people to see that I did it. So I will tell my friends. I tell Sam. I will call my parents. I'm like, hey, I did a thing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love that so much. Yes. Okay. Jeanette, I'm so glad you said this because I definitely want Laken to talk about this. One thing I admire about Laken is her consistency, and I completely agree. Like your consistency, I'm just like, it's definitely like awe-inspiring. How do you, I want to say, I know, are you naturally a consistent person? Something you work at, you feel like?
No, I think it's something that I work at. I think I'm a naturally like driven, ambitious person, but the key to consistency is small steps. The smallest of small. How small of a step can it be? And then once it's consistent at that tiny bit, then you can add more to it. Sorry, kitty tails and all the things. So that yeah, she just wants, she is consistently wanting snuggles and pets and attention. Yeah. So I think the struggle that I had before is I try to do all the things at once, right? So I want to start a morning routine. I am going to do all 10 of these things that are going to take 2 hours of my time. I'm going to start getting up 2 hours earlier and I'm going to do all these things. And you got that motivation. And it works for like 3 days and then you oversleep and you do none of it. And then you're just like, forget about it. It's just never going to happen. I've been there. I've so been there. And what I figured out was you can't go from 0 to 100. Like you've got to rev up. You can't just press on the gas pedal and go from 0 to 100. That's not how it works. You've got to do a little bit at a time. And so when someone's like, I want to start waking up earlier, great. 15 minutes tomorrow. You set your alarm 15 minutes earlier. You do that for a week. The next week, 30 minutes. And you do that for a week or even 2 weeks. And then you keep going until you get to the time. You want to start a morning routine? Great. I highly encourage you to map out the entire thing that you want to do. Like write it all down so you don't forget. Like what are all the things you want to do? Cool. Pick one. Pick one thing that you want to start doing in the morning. And work on that one thing every morning until that's consistent. Because it's so much easier to be consistent with one thing, with 15 minutes, with a small step versus this whole massive thing. That's how I consistent. That's how I.
Y'all, I'm gonna have to take this particular episode and send it out to some of my friends and family because listen, we all need to hear this. I'm over here like, am I the only one feeling convicted? Like.
I've been there because I tried it and failed for a long time until I figured out that like, this isn't working. So what will work? What will work? And the other thing is that it doesn't always have to be a big thing to have a big impact. Like, I think we have to, I feel like I've been using this workout example. We need to go to these like super intensive 60-minute 90-minute workout classes like 7 days a week. And that's that's how we're going to get in shape. And like, but your body is going to not handle that well, and it's going to get tired, and then you're not going to do anything. And it's just you're so much better off building up to that. So 2 days a week, do that for a month. 3 days a week, do that for a month. And then you work up to it.
Oh, that's so good. Listen, I needed that. I needed that word on how to be consistent. Love that. And I love what you guys are saying in the comments. Real quick, I want you guys to start getting your questions all ready for Laken, because y'all know I can talk to her all day. Tammy had said it's easier to tackle new/big goals if we keep some momentum going in December. I love that, Tammy.
There's no magic fairy dust on January 1st.
Listen, no, none at all. It's another day. It's just another day. Taylor had said I put Post-its in my new planner to catch ideas to organize later. It helps later as a starting point. I like the idea of limiting goals in December to give you a focus to the new year. Me too, Taylor. I think that's one of my biggest takeaways from tonight. Someone else had said consistency was my word for 2020.
Love that.
Oh my gosh. Yes, yes, yes. Someone had just said, Laken, thank you so much for leading by example. I'm also working on eliminating insane/crazy from my conversation. Yes. Love that.
That's me too.
As a teacher, I gave stickers to my little students as they participate in class. I reached a small goal. So maybe as a planner, I can use my stickers and my planner to reward myself. The power of a sticker goes a long way.
Now Charlie wants to play with the Apple Pencil.
Yes. Okay. Real quick. Okay. So Laken, there was some questions that came through me on Instagram.
Okay.
And the very first one from Lauren, she gave 2 questions. She says, 1, how are you so gorgeous? And what is your favorite new product?
Ooh. Can it be, does it have to be planner specific?
It doesn't have to be planner related.
Okay, my favorite new thing that I own is my Hatch, my alarm clock thing.
Is that the sunlight and the...
Oh, it's the best. It is the best thing I've purchased in the last 6 months.
Okay, how has it been working? Like,
it gets me excited to get into bed and read before bed. I haven't watched TV before bed in a long time. And it gets me excited to wake up in the morning, the light, the sound, all the things. And then I'm convinced the sound machine has changed our sleeping. Sam loves it too.
Okay. So question, with the sunlight, is it set for, your time, or could you set the sunrise to another time zone? So you're getting the sunlight.
You can set the sunlight as at any time of day that you want. And you can have the sunrise be as long as you want. So I only have mine take 15 minutes. Okay. But because we're also getting up super early. And so I don't want it to wake me up that much before it's time to actually wake up. But yeah, you can do it for any time.
Okay. Someone had asked, how do you know when it is time to call it for a goal? You tried it and it just isn't progressing.
So that's a tough one, because most of the time, if you made it a goal, it's not, it's important to you. There's some reason why you made it a goal. And so I feel really hard. Like I struggle to say you can just give up and let go. My first tip would be to pivot, take some advice from Ross and pivot and pick a new action step to achieve that same goal. So think about what's your goal? What was the goal? Why is that a goal? Okay, well, what other thing can I do that can help me achieve that same outcome? And what action can I change that gets me to that same root cause? So you're not giving up on the why, but you're changing the action item. And then you're really not giving up on the goal. You're just changing it a little bit.
Okay, I love that. And then we have Imperfect on paper said, how do you store all of your pins and all of your stickers?
So I honestly don't have that many pens. I know that's like a crazy planner girl thing to say, because I only use black pens and I just don't have that many. So I store them on my desk. I have this little, I think it's actually meant for makeup, but it has 3 spaces that I have planners stacked up. So I have all of my planners sitting on my desk, and then it also has a little space for pens, and that's where I keep my pens. My planner stickers are all in Christian Designs 1-inch binders. And I have a video on that goes through all of my sticker organization, but I use little page protectors from Amazon, like the little tiny page protectors in those binders. And I have like a lot of them.
Okay. We're going to remind me to come back to stickers at the end of our conversation because I have got to ask you some things.
Oh.
I'm going to ask some questions that came through earlier. Okay. Study plan, sleep set. What planner do you use for work? She's currently shopping around for one.
Yeah. So right now I'm using the Erin Condren Daily Duo that was sent to me. I am also shopping around for one because this one is going to end December 31st. And I don't know, I have not found a daily that's got half hours and good paper. So yeah, any recommendations for me? I'm a looking.
Put it in the chat, y'all. Crystal Crafty Closet said, how do you decide between a 7x9 and an A5 coil planner?
Great question. I think if you really, it's how much space you need mixed with, are you taking it somewhere? So I think if you, and how are you taking it? Like I commute on the subway and it's, well, not now, but normally. And so I can't carry a bunch of big, heavy things. And so I would always go smaller. But if you're doing like a weekly and you need that space, then I think that's more important. So I feel like you got to weigh with how much space do you need and are you taking it? If it's staying at home, 7x9.
Okay. And I know earlier we had talked about how you necessarily don't get as crafty when it comes to your planners, but Tammy had asked, speaking of when you do get crafty, will you incorporate December daily concepts into your memory planning going forward?
Absolutely. I'm so excited to get started with memory planning, and my inspiration has been Taylor from Tattoo Teacher Plans. But I've just been watching all of her videos, and that's going to be kind of my like go-to structure to start with. But I am going to think about, I'm not going to do like that kind of, it's going to be in my Moxie life. It's not going to be in a binder system, but I'm going to incorporate some of those ideas. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Michelle, why you got to call me out though? Listen, I do want my sunrise to happen at noon. Okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay. Another question that we had got was, how do you plan for all the holiday stuff, gifts, decor, events, traditions? How do you go personally about planning that? That came from Robin Picks on Instagram.
I don't really plan a lot of that stuff because like I live in a small apartment, so I don't really do decor. We don't do a big family holiday. It's just my immediate family. So the only thing I really have to plan are gifts, and I have a spreadsheet for that. Sometimes you got to just go digital. And so I've got like all of the people that I buy gifts for. And then I have like a new tab for each year so I can see what I bought them last year and like the year before that. And then I always know, like so I don't buy the same thing for like the same people. And then there's usually one of my tips for gifts. I usually will find like one or two things that I really love to give as a gift, and I will give it to multiple people. Like all the women in my family will get the same thing that year, and all of the or the men in my family will get the same thing that year.
Oh, I love that. Have there been like certain gifts that, like, if you don't mind me asking?
I was afraid you were gonna ask that because I'm like trying to think what like
they're not
been really good. Really, I got to think about that.
Okay, think about that and then shoot me a DM. Let me know because I'm always looking.
I pull up my spreadsheet.
Okay. Oh yeah, go look in your spreadsheet and let me know. Now I want to know, you had mentioned Taylor, but I was going to say, where have you, like, have there been any people in the planner community have just that been inspiring you creatively, just in general? I would love for you to share like who has been inspiring Laken.
So lately I've been watching a lot of Taylor from Tattoo Teacher Plans for my memory keeping inspiration as I am getting ready for that in 2021. Who else has been inspiring me a lot lately? I'm trying to think. I feel like there's just been a lot. There's a lot of going around, a lot of people doing a lot of amazing things. Jeanette from Wild always inspires me, and how she does all the things that she does, I will never know. But seeing Wild You take off has been an amazing thing to watch because I know that's been one of the things she's been working on for so long. So seeing her accomplish that has been just so insane.
She's like Superwoman.
Yeah. Oh, she is.
Most definitely. Okay. Now, this is what I want to come back to. I wanted us to circle back to stickers. What are, give me 3 of your favorite sticker shops.
So Christian Designs. That's like my go-to. Like if you only told me I could pick one, that's what I would pick. I haven't been ordering a lot of stickers lately. So
I know your wallet is thanking you.
I've been buying other things like patches and I've been buying other things, just not stickers. Why am I even blanking on like other sticker shops that I shop from?
Listen, you're just like, Christiana Signs, listen, that's cool because I love her. I was literally, before we got live, I was looking through my CAD binder trying to figure out what sticker kit I wanted to use for this upcoming week.
Yeah, I love her stickers. I love the removability. I love the simplicity like of the designs and just all the things.
Okay, so now I want to be a little bit geeky, extra geeky. When you're picking sticker kits and you're using them, what are your like essentials when it comes to a sticker kit?
Yeah. So I'm going to answer that question with my like old planning format, because now that I'm switching to memory planning, what I picked was a little bit different. So, well, I guess I could talk about that.
Yeah, so, I want to see the difference between both.
Yeah. So it always used to be I needed full box, some kind of full box, whether they were decorative or quotes. I needed there to be enough full boxes because I used those to mark when I was at work. So like I needed those always. I'm a half box aholic and I needed all the half boxes. I needed there to be a lot of half boxes in the kit. I love when there's washi down at the bottom, like that matches down at the bottom. I don't use date covers. I just feel like it just is a lot on the page. And so if it had them, I was like, can I not get them? That was something that I really didn't want. Those were like my must-haves. And ordering from memory keeping, I was actually trying to get less stickers. So like I did order stickers during the Wild collab sale with the like kits for the new year. And I was like, I wanted to be able to pick a la carte because I wanted to shop my stash for all the other stuff. So I still wanted full boxes, like full box decorative boxes. And I still wanted washi at the bottom, but I didn't prioritize half boxes as much. Instead, I prioritized, oh my gosh, I'm blanking now. What was the other thing that I was like, oh, I want this kit to have that? Oh my gosh, my brain. I don't even know now. I'm trying to think, what does Taylor use a lot in her kits or in her planning? Because I was like, oh, I'm going to make sure to get those.
Are those are they the little like headers ones?
Oh, the little strips? No, because I'm going to use a Moxie Life, so I don't feel like I needed those. I don't know.
Now, Taylor, we're like, Taylor, if you're still listening.
Now I need to look at my orders. I'm like, what did I order? I had a thing. Oh, well.
Okay. Oh, my goodness. That's so cool. I'm so excited to see you memory plan. It's definitely been like, it's something I just started like a couple months ago, and I love it. Love it. Someone had asked, did you ever make your own stickers?
I did for personal use because there were things that I wanted. I used to make my own habit trackers every week. I used to make stickers that had logos of like my favorite sports teams, since you can't buy logos. And me and that silhouette fought to the death a lot. And I'm not a big fan of it. And when someone's like, can you have a shop? I'm like, no, I can't. I fought with that silhouette to make my own stickers.
Oh, I love that. Okay. Like, nope, that's just not me. That's not me. Okay, you guys, this is what I want to hear from you. I want to hear what has been your biggest takeaway from tonight. Yeah. There's so many, I'm like, there's so many takeaways that I have. And while you let us know what your biggest takeaway is, Laken, I want to hear there's two questions. The first question is, I do want to know, what planners are you thinking about for 2021? And then I want you to ultimately let us know, what lessons has this year taught you and how are you using them in your planner?
I love it. So 2021 is going to be pretty much the same lineup as 2020, but add in that Moxie Life vertical for memory planning. Otherwise and I'm again on a hunt for a work planner. So otherwise it's going to be pretty much the same in 2021. My lessons for this year has been, and this could be what I needed this year, and I'm going to have to force myself to implement it in the future, is leaving way more white space in my calendar. And just having blank time in my calendar to do whatever it is I feel like doing in that day. I specifically found that I like having it on Monday nights. I like having Monday night after work be like, whatever you feel like doing kind of night. And Friday night, same thing, to decompress after the whole week, to have that night be nothing. And then really I've been working for working on having more weekend white space to like do whatever I want. And so, I think that's the other reason I decided that weekly pre-planning wasn't really for me, because I was leaving more white space in my planner. And I didn't want to plan out every hour of every day of every week. And that's crazy. And that was like, that's not a 30 thing. And that's not normal for me. But I just feel like that's what I've needed this year. And I've really enjoyed it. And I want to carry that over.
Oh, I love that so much. I love it. That's so good. That's just really good. Just like white space, white space, white space, white space. Okay, you ready for your takeaways from the night, Laken?
I'm so excited.
Okay. We got study plan says consistency. Don't give up, reflect and learn. Brainstorm your goals now.
All good. So good.
Crafty Ruby Dream says, I'm not the only one who thinks SMART goals aren't the end all be all for everything. Thank you. You just freed somebody tonight, Laken. You know that? You freed somebody.
Anyway, it doesn't always have to be a SMART goal.
Mm-mm. Jamila said, breaking down routines to make things work for you and you, not you work for them.
I love the way you phrase that.
Mm-hmm. This was mine too, TK. No unattainable goals, just unattainable timelines. Mm-hmm. Someone also said, a goal can be focusing on happiness. Don't stress to make the goal fit SMART format. Listen, I'm telling you, free people tonight with that SMART goals, girl. Yes. I love that. And the biggest thing that people have been saying for work, I don't know if you heard of them, they said check out Amplified planners.
Okay.
So that might be a planner to look into.
I will go look into it. I've heard of it, but I haven't looked at it.
I haven't either. I need to actually look at it because someone had mentioned it before. And so I need to totally look it out. Someone said, a takeaway, if a goal isn't working, pivot and break it down. Follow Ross's, they were moving back.
Your inner Ross.
I love it. Okay. Try one small action within your routine. Yes. I love that. Laken, I just want to say thank you so much for joining me tonight. I want to know, where can everyone keep up with you?
So I am at Plan with Laken on all of the places, on Instagram, on YouTube. I mean, other social media that I don't do, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, all of those things. And I lost my train of thought. And Patreon.
Yes. Can you talk about your Patreon? Because I feel like we honestly got a little bit of a taste of what people might get if they were a part of your Patreon group. So tell us a little bit more about what you're doing with Patreon.
Yeah. So on my social media platforms, I share a lot about my personal goal journey, and I bring you along and I give you tips along the way of things that worked for me. And I realized over time, I was getting so many questions about people saying like, well, I have this goal. Like, I need help with this. I have this specific goal. And so I wanted to create a space where I could give assistance on other people's specific goals that were specific for them. And so that is what the Patreon community is focused on, is on accountability and encouragement and a place to just get tips and questions related to your specific goal. Yeah, it's Goals with Laken. If you search on Patreon for Laken, I'm the first one that pops up because there's just not that many Lakens in the world. And so there's a couple different tiers for every different price point, whether you want just a little bit of access to me or a lot of access to me. And then in December, we are doing a special live where we are going to break down our goals for 2021 together and set up action plans so that we can kick off 2021 on the right foot. And I'm super excited for that session. So that is that's it.
Well, thank you for sharing that. And y'all, if you enjoyed tonight, I really encourage y'all to check out Goals with Laken. Y'all, thank you so much for joining me. There was one comment and I missed it, but I just want you to know, Laken, someone was like, this was such a great live and it was their first time and they just really enjoyed you. And I just thank you all for joining and showing up each week. And remember I'd like to say, keep planning. And I know Laken has her signature sign off, which is usually
happy planning.
So we will catch you guys around and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.